This is the Bed Slat Boat. It's handmade from recycled materials, mostly bed slats that I found on the streets of Amsterdam, hence the name. It was made during the COVID period, with the goal of inviting my friends and their kids on trips with it once the pandemic was over. In this video we'll look at its construction, the ideas behind it, and hopefully it'll inspire others to make the same boat. The best thing about it though may be the reactions you get from passers-by. People love this thing. Let's look at the boat. It's about 1.75 meters wide and 4 meters long. It's what's called a skin-on-frame construction, which means it's mostly a light wooden frame with a PVC tarp folded around it that makes it waterproof. It's relatively light. It was easy to chuck into the water with just 4 people. It's very easy to steer too, which is useful in the Amsterdam canals where you have to make quick turns. It literally turns on a dime. As I said, the boat is mostly made from recycled materials, many of which were found on the street. The exceptions are things like getting rust-proof screws, which were needed for safety reasons. The boat also somewhat conforms to cradle-to-cradle ideology, which means that everything is put together in such a way that it can also be easily deconstructed again into its constituent parts and materials. For example, the PVC tarp is folded onto the structure. No holes were made in it, so it could easily be reused to make another boat. I've also tried to use things like natural oil for waterproofing the wood instead of using chemical paints. So let's look at the construction. It started with collecting bed slats. I wanted building the boat to be a relaxing experience, so I skipped the measure twice, cut once mentality. I almost never measured anything, I just did things. If you look closely, you'll notice that the boat is not perfectly symmetrical, and doing it this way just made it a lot faster to build, which was another advantage. There was really no big plan. I also clearly remember the moment I decided to make the boat slightly longer by just adding one more bed slat to the front. So the boat really changed as I went along. As it was taking shape, my friends recommended I should make it stronger, so that they would feel safer taking their kids along, which I took to heart. The strength mainly comes from the floor. It's a sandwich construction, which means it has some cross beams and some big wooden plates on top of that and beneath it that really make it very sturdy and strong. And around it there are even more bed slats and some other leftover bits of wood. I've also put some styrofoam into that sandwich construction to make it float even better in the case of an emergency. It'll float no matter what. The sides are extremely lightweight constructions. As you can see, there are a lot of triangles in it, which makes it stronger. Additional thinner bed slats were added to transfer the force from the engine pushing at the back, at the top of the boat, to transfer that force into the bottom of the boat. The bench in the middle is there to provide additional rigidity to the structure, turning the front compartment into another triangle. I added a layer of black material that is normally used to protect floors when people are painting their homes. It's made from this misprints of juice cartons, so again it's a recycled material. It protects the real tarp from getting directly in contact with the nuts and the bolts, which could damage it, but it also just looks really nice. The battery I also built myself. It consists of 4 large cells, a battery management system, and some wires and a waterproof case. Overall, the boat is not as cheap as you'd think. The motor is about 300 euros, the battery is about 700 euros, and then just building the boat itself is probably another 1,000, so you get pretty close to 2,000 euros in all. So that's the Bed Slat boat. I absolutely love it. I take it out all the time, at least once a week. And yeah, I hope it inspires you as well. Make your own boat. Why not?